How y'all doing? It's Marcus Montgomery. Uh, I'm talking about chapter 9 today, and this one is about early adulthood, ages 12 through 18. And my article actually uh, most directly resonates with boys during this age and their friendships. Uh, may that be like with friends with other boys of their age or females. Um, so during this age, most times uh, kids actually boys most times stay with the group that they had in earlier life, like 6 through 12. Most times they don't deviate, so they grow up with those friends. But there's like a power dynamic now because it's just a natural like build for someone to become the alpha of the group. There's a power dynamic now. So that was in this article, which was done by Mr. Way of New York University. He talks about how the relationships kind of deviate and they change into more of a powerarchy thing. In my perspective and from my experiences, I can say that it definitely got like that, especially because I played football. Uh, People at this age, like you still have close friends, but people sometimes would take jabs at you and try to one up you in especially in the athletic field of things. That was kind of a thing. It wasn't intentionally trying to put people down. It was just kind of to put your self esteem up. That's why friends would do that at this time. Um, Intimacy at this time, 12 to 18, you actually start to grow very fond of the opposite sex or the same sex, depending on preferences. This was uh, this was very prevalent in the paper, talking about how your sexual drive actually is at its highest peak at this time. This is when you hit puberty. This is when most boys start to adventure into sexuality when it comes to uh, females, such as kissing and other things like that. And then once you get more towards 15, 16, 17, 18 in early adulthood, then that's most times when kids are introduced to sex, maybe oral sex, traditional sex, things of that nature. Um, and you have desires at this point. Most times, kids start to actually try to move in on goals that they set when they were younger, like they want to be a professional football player or something like that. Kids get more goal oriented, and you kind of they kind of try to maneuver and traverse their way to getting to their goals in that way. Also, there's also loss during this time. Loss is something that during this time boys kind of have a hard time dealing with, such as friends moving or you just growing apart because of the way y'all are growing up and the directions that y'all are taking. That's a very big part of this too, in this paper when they talk about how uh, boys can just almost almost they almost have like a certain point where you could be best friends when you're growing up, and then once you hit this time, you can just almost instantly grow apart because of likeness. The more you're like someone, the more you're likely to like them, if that makes sense. So this article also talks about that. As a social worker dealing with boys at this age, I believe that you should try to not talk down to them, but talk to them on their level. You don't want to like overshoot them and they not understand what you're saying, because a lot of kids at this age, boys definitely are hard headed, and they want to be able to relate to you. So you need to relate to them and understand their changes. So yeah, that's my report for chapter 9 this week. Thank you.